Hello there, folks. My name is Spoonks, and I saw Oppenheimer, and it was outstanding. Now, I was very much looking forward to this movie. It looked like a much bigger improvement over Tenet, and I was curious to see how Christopher Nolan would take the creation of the atomic bomb, let alone the man who came up with the atomic bomb, and take this story and turn it into one masterpiece of a film. The trailers all looked phenomenal, and I was very excited to see this movie. And while it didn't live up to all of my expectations, I still found this to be a thoroughly engaging, outstanding movie. First off, the story here is great. Pretty much describing it out loud is very simple. It's the creation of the atomic bomb and how J. Robert Oppenheimer had to deal with that. Very simple, but the way the film executes it and delivers pretty much everything that went into creating it before and after, and obviously the whole process of creating this thing was absolutely outstanding. Just seeing all these scientists come together to determine how to create this weapon of mass destruction, the moral quarrels of creating such a weapon of mass destruction, and of course J. Robert Oppenheimer, his struggles with creating this, and once again the ramifications of it, dealing with the process, and what it entails for him and as well the world. I thought it was all very well done, and I love seeing the process of all these people coming together to create it. It led to the movie feeling very fast-paced for the first 2 hours. The last hour we'll get to later in the video, but I thought it was so fascinating and investing to see the creation. But it also leads to, like I said, some moral quarrels, because with a weapon as big and disastrous and dangerous as this is, there are some questionable things about it, and the film dives into that as well. And when it does, it leads to some of the most devastating and even horrifying moments of the film. This is definitely not a delightful, charming, fun blockbuster. No, it really dives into some of the more horrifying ramifications that J. Robert Oppenheimer must have dealt with after creating the atomic bomb. The visual effects here are also stunning, beautiful, and haunting when you realize that this is the atomic bomb. Nolan has gone on record saying that there is not a single CGI shot in this movie. He had a big emphasis on practical effects, and honestly, the way he was able to create a lot of the visuals for like the explosions and all the particles in the air, I gotta be honest, I don't know how he was able to pull it off, but yet he managed to make something look so beautiful and so threatening at the same time. It was a sight and beauty to see on the big screen, and I commend him and the visual effects team for that alone. And then lastly, there are the characters, but mostly the performances. The characters in here are written so well, but the performances are really what make these characters absolutely intriguing and well-rounded, in my opinion. Cillian Murphy did a great job. Not only does he look the part, but he does a fantastic job of dealing with the creation of this weapon of mass destruction. You can tell how it's haunting him, but he also realizes the severity of the situation. Robert Downey Jr. also gives a wonderful performance. This is one of his best performances ever. Emily Blunt also has a chance to shine, and also honestly, it was a lot of fun just to point out certain actors that you recognize and seeing them give really solid performances in a Christopher Nolan movie. There were several times in the theater where I was going like, oh hey, it's one of the Safdie brothers, and oh my god, that's Josh Peck. And I think and that was honestly really fun. But overall, I really liked a lot of the characters here, and the performances were definitely outstanding. But unfortunately, I do have some issues that held the movie back for me. First off, there are several points in this movie where I felt it would move very slow, like the movie would grind to a halt. Like, there were points where this movie was fast-paced. I barely felt the runtime, but there were definitely a couple moments scattered here and there where I felt like, okay, we are slowing down a bit. But it managed to pick itself back up. It's just a couple moments here and there. But the biggest issue I had with this movie was unfortunately the last hour. Now, I might be in the minority in this criticism, as apparently from what I have seen and read, people barely felt the runtime, but this was the point where I definitely started to feel the runtime. The last hour of this movie failed to captivate or interest me or keep me invested in what was going on like the first 2 hours did. I don't know what it was. The things just grinded to a halt. It stopped being as engaging or as interesting to me. Don't get me wrong, there are still some very big things going on here, some of which did pique my interest, but it still wasn't enough to keep me that invested with what was actually going on in this last hour. Maybe had they tightened it up a bit, maybe trimmed down some of the fat a bit. And it's not like I don't get its purpose for being in the movie or anything. I'm just saying it failed to keep me as invested, and I just couldn't wait for the movie to end at that point, honestly. I may be in the minority here, but to me, this was the big thing that kind of brought the movie down a couple points for me, unfortunately. But despite those flaws, I still found this to be an outstanding, spectacular film for Christopher Nolan. The way he was able to tell this story was haunting yet beautiful, if that makes any sense. I thought the story was great, the visual effects were unbelievable, and the characters and performances were all great. If you are a fan of Christopher Nolan, I'd say go see this movie as soon as you can, or if you just really want to see a great phenomenal movie like this, definitely go check it out. But I must warn everyone, this is definitely not a summer movie you should go in expecting to be like a summer movie. Like, this is not like you're gonna come out of the theater being all happy and feeling good about yourself. This is not a Transformers. This is not an Elemental. It can be very damaging and disheartening and even horrifying at times. But if you're still okay and comfortable with that, I'd still recommend that you all go check this out. Didn't live up to my expectations, but I was still satisfied nonetheless. So those are my thoughts on Oppenheimer. What did you all think of it? If you've seen it, did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below and let me know. If you liked this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media links at the end of the video. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.